Hello, friends. This is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today is April 1st, 2026. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus on the line to go over all the news for you today. Quite a bit. Iran war, day number 33. And so history doesn't repeat, but it certainly does rhyme. Happy April Fool's Day. We're not joking on this broadcast. It's a disaster. I guess in the middle of our show here at about 6 o'clock, Trump set to address the nation about the Iran war. If anything significant comes about from his address to the nation, we'll cut in live and try to get it for you. But I don't know, what is it? Politico says he's going to say that we've won the war. Of course, we've won it every day since it started. For 33 days, we've won this war as our bases continually be bombed in the Middle East. But we've won this war, so we'll see how that sorts out. We've got this blasphemy out of the White House. We'll cover that. We'll cover that today. Trump's blasphemy. What else do we got? Who is Trump negotiating with? He says they're negotiating with new regime in Iran. Iran says they're not negotiating with America. So I don't know. I think we have a couple images. Maybe Trump is on the shoe phone, the fishing line with the tin can, talking to little Marco Rubio or Barron. I don't know. It's very disconnected, though. Very disconnected. They are rigging the markets, 100% profiteering off of all this insanity. Trump did go to the Supreme Court today for the birthright citizenship case. Cover some of that. And then a whole lot of war news. A whole lot of war news. And then this story, I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's 8 or 9. Daily Mail says 8. Zero Hedge report said 9. There's at least 8, maybe 9 missing high-profile scientists now. Part of some bigger conspiracy, dare I say. Cover that a little bit. And then, of course, Artemis 2 flying around the moon on April Fool's Day. We're going to cover that. See if we can believe it. I'm having a hard time, but at least the astronauts are diverse. And so that's really all that matters under the Trump administration is his DEI policies. And so we'll take a look at that as well. And then what else? We got economic news as fuel rationing around the world is increasing. We have geopolitical news and more Epstein news for you today as well. Let me get to on this day in history, and we'll bring on Ruckus and get to all of this for you guys. Thank you for joining us on this April 1st, April Fool's Day. On this day of April 1st, we go back to the year 1504. English guilds and corporations go under state control there in England. Maybe we can recruit this guy or figure out what he did. On this day in 1515, Portuguese fleet under Alfonso de Albuquerque captured the Persian fortress of Hormuz, renaming it the Fort of Our Lady of the Conception. Throwing that in the Muslim's face right there. I don't know, or the Persian's face. Anyway, we need to resurrect old de Albuquerque and figure out what the hell to do with the Strait of Hormuz. As it looks like if we send in boots on the ground, it's going to be a complete slaughter of American troops, and we definitely don't want that to happen. But interestingly enough, on this day, 1778 on this day, New Orleans businessman Oliver Pollock creates the dollar sign. You know, the S with the line through it. The dollar symbol was created on this day, 1778. 1826 on this day. The internal combustion engine, extremely important as part of the Industrial Revolution. Samuel Morey is issued the first U.S. patent for an internal combustion engine, which he calls a gas or vapor engine. 1863. On this day, U.S. Congress passes the first wartime conscription law, calling for the registration of all 20 to 45-year-old males. We're getting ready to do this routine again. 1873, on this day, British White Star steamship SS Atlantic sinks off of Nova Scotia, Canada, killing at least 535 people. 1881, on this day, anti-aardvark riots break out in Jerusalem. I don't know what could have caused that. Pure hate, I suppose. On this day in 1905, SOS, first adopted as a Morse distress signal. It's ... ... ... ... ... ... ... ... ... First adopted by the German government, SOS, on this date, 1905. 1924, on this day, Adolf Hitler sentenced to 5 years labor for the beer hall putsch. But General Ludendorff is acquitted. 1934, on this day, Bonnie and Clyde murder. Clyde Burrow kills 2 highway patrolmen at the intersection of Route 114 near Grapevine, Texas. Bonnie Parker, his accomplice, role in the murders, helps turn public perception against the gang for good. On this day, 1934, killing the cops. They're in Texas. 1945, on this day, we saw the Battle of Okinawa. U.S. ground forces invade Okinawa during World War II in the largest amphibious assault of the Pacific Theater. Don't do it again, Trump. Don't do it again. We're right on the edge here. A boots on the ground, as they say. Heading into Iran. Don't do it, Trump. On this day, in 1946, 400,000 U.S. mine workers of America go on strike. 1974, on this day, Ayatollah Khomeini calls for an Islamic Republic in Iran. And they did get their Islamic Republic in Iran, didn't they? On this day in 1976, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs found Apple Computer in the garage of Jobs' parents' house. Is the story they expect us to believe here now. They all the tech bros built it all in their dorm rooms or parents' garages, you see. None of this technology was from the military or DARPA or any of that. It was all just cooked up in the garage. Maybe we launched a space mission from the garage too. On this day in 2020, the bat problems persisting. Then President Trump says the U.S. strategic national stockpile is almost depleted amid widespread shortages of medical equipment to fight bat problems. And in 2025, just 1 year ago, or actually it was 2 years ago, 2024, time is flying, man. 2024, I remember when this happened, reporting on it. 2024, 2 years ago now, 7 aid workers from World Central Kitchen are killed in an aardvark land bombing attack on Gaza. Remember that? Yeah. But hey, they're the good guys getting a terrorist, killing the World Central Kitchen aid workers. And then here's we got a couple crazy clips are coming out here now. We'll play this one. We'll play this one and then bring on Ruckus and get to all this news. Here's Trump. It was muted. Pardon me.
Tonight I'm making a little speech at 9 o'clock, and basically I'm going to tell everybody how great I am.
Ruckus, how are you doing on this 33rd day of the Iran war? Trump's great, right?
Is that real or was that AI?
No, that's real. No, that's real.
This is, he's trolling everybody. This is such an April Fool's. This is so, oh my God, I wish this was a joke. This is so sad. This is crazy.
It gets worse.
That's the joke. That's the parody. That's what we would say. Like, oh, he's got to get up there and tell everybody how great he is. He literally said that. It gets better,
worse.
You say?
No, it gets worse. Here's
depends on your point of view, my
Here's a bunch of Satanists around Trump praying today, acting like they're Christians. Let's watch this. Extremely disturbing. You want to know where the Satanists are? They're right here.
And Mr. President, no one has paid the price like you have paid the price. It almost cost you your life. You were betrayed and arrested and falsely accused. It's a familiar pattern that our Lord and Savior showed us. But it didn't end there for him, and it didn't end there for you. God always had a plan. On the third day, he rose, he defeated evil, he conquered death, hell, and the grave. And because he rose, we all know that we can rise. And sir, because of his resurrection, you rose up. Because he was victorious, you were victorious. And I believe that the Lord said to tell you this. Because of his victory, you will be victorious in all you put your hand to. Amen.
I can't take it, Ruckus. It goes on. It goes on.
Spare us, please. Wow, I'm reminded of that scene from, oh God, it was one of the, it was in the Mallrats series. I don't remember which film it was, but the guy goes on this bizarre long diatribe, and then the professor just looks at him and he responds in a very clever way, and then ends it by, everyone in this room is now dumber for having heard it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. That's immediately what I thought of when I saw that. Now, I understand your confusion. You think those are Satanists. It's their appearance. The lady there to Trump's left, she looks like, oh, okay. Well, she looks like a witch out of like some Disney movie. I understand. And the guy to Trump's right, I know who it is, but he only looks like a leprechaun / elf from Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. So I can understand how you get confused, but those are actual pastors. Now, I know now that sounds confusing if you know anything about what is required to be a pastor. But yes, both of those people, I know the one is a woman and looks like a witch, but they're pastors, Sam, not Satanists. Get it right. And Trump, very godly man, although, as we've heard from his own mouth, there's nothing he can do to get to heaven. That's why he's just standing there observing like, yeah, this is interesting, but it doesn't apply to me at all.
There's more, Ruckus. Here's Trump's anti-septic task force leader, Leo Terrell, yesterday at the ZOA, Zionist of America meeting, saying that we got to get our PR machine going 24/7 around the clock. So the brainwashing is going to come at us hard and heavy, according to Leo Terrell, Zionist Organization of America.
We have to fight the corporations that lie every day about the war in Gaza, in the Middle East, that fight the corporations that lie about calling attacks on Jewish students at UCLA or Columbia as First Amendment freedom of speech. That's a lie. And I don't want to embarrass or call out corporations that misrepresent the truth, because I don't think it's right to do that here. CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, they lie every day. So if I give you any suggestion, we got to get our PR machine going 24/7 around the clock. We're getting beat on the PR campaign. We're getting beat.
Again, it's because the IDF posted their own war crimes all over social media when they started the genocide against Gaza. And so these people are fully delusional.
Sam, correction. The IDF did not all the IDF soldiers were posting war crimes pictures. Some of them were simply posting pictures of themselves posing in women's underwear of the homes that they were raiding and destroying. So, I'm not sure.
I remember that.
That's a
I
war
remember
crime,
some
but
of that.
It's not a good look, as the kids say.
I remember some of that. It's just bizarre, extremely bizarre behavior. This poor woman, they kicked out of the religious, what's her name? Carrie Prejean. She's a big Catholic, and they kicked her off of Trump's Religious Liberty Commission because she said, I don't agree with Zionism. I'm a Catholic. And they said, you're a damn bigot, racist, antiseptic, hater, and you got to go. And she's like, but I just want to practice my own religion on the Religious Liberty Commission. They said, you're gone, lady. Anyway, here she is talking a little bit more about it. And hey, this is a antiseptic trigger warning. So be aware you may be triggered by this clip. Here she is on RT talking about it. I think we have a couple clips, but this one is especially triggering because she says she won't send her son to go die for aardvark land. It's a damn sin. I know, Ruckus.
Had a professional relationship for quite some time now, and you were as much a cheerleader for him as anybody out there. So to hear you say this now is really different and important and impactful.
Right. I think that so many Americans feel the exact same way that I'm feeling. And you know what? Just like you, who admitted you were wrong, I will admit right now to the American people and to the world, I was wrong. I was fooled. I was convinced that this president actually wanted to make America great again. Okay. And what we're seeing now is not that. I do not recognize this president. I do not know who he is, because he promised to help the American people. He promised to not get us involved in foreign wars. And now we're seeing that we are sending boots on the ground. I'll tell you what, my son is not going to go die for Israel. He will not be.
What? Should she be arrested, Ruckus?
I was just wondering. I hope she's behind bars. She's behind bars, right? Somebody scooped her up already, right?
She's free to say this stuff.
Can somebody tag Cash Patel and Pam Bondi on X and get this done ASAP? I'm
sure the ADL is all over it. Here's a little bit more from her. Oh, and by the way, Weaponized News called this the entire election that Trump was a piece of shit. We told you here at Weaponized News. So just to let you know, as all these Trump supporters are waking up to the fact that he's a piece of shit. And then here's the shadow president of America saying how much he loves Christians. Turns out this Catholic lady who should be behind bars because not wanting her family to die for aardvarks is she's saying that Bibi's a liar.
Has been absolutely pro-Christian. The absurd thing is that we're being accused for protecting Christians, and this fallacy, this lie, this vilification that Israel is against Christians, when Israel is the only country in the Middle East and one of the few countries in the world that stands up for Christians.
Interesting. Your reaction?
What's so disgusting about it is that they're claiming that it was safety concerns. Okay, so you're telling me a country that is committing genocide, bombing women and children, care about safety. No, he doesn't care about safety. He's a liar. He is a liar. And I honestly believe he is a very evil man. And so I don't believe one thing.
This Catholic lady's gone off the rails, man. She needs a re-education, Ruckus.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Controlled opposition in my book. I'm not a Catholic, so I'm not saying anything negative about Catholics. I'm not Jewish. I'm not saying anything negative about Jewish, but I'm a Christian. So for me, just being a Christian, watching these types of things, although I would lean more towards what this lady is saying, at the end of the day, spiritually, at least for me as a Christian, watching like, say, a fox and a jackal argue over what's best for the chickens, when they both don't care a darn about the chickens and they're just food for them at the end of the day. Anyways, that's my own personal opinion. But dude, you want to really piss off the Catholics now? There's just a small handful of those. It's like, it seems like that the Aardvark lands particular flavor of their beliefs, whatever that may or may not be, whether or not it's actually Judaism or more Talmudic. Anyway, is the fact that they're pissing off huge religious groups like the Islam faith, and now they're gonna take on the Catholics. I mean, they keep this up, they're not going to have very many friends left in the world.
There's only a few billion of them.
Yeah, it's going to be like such a small handful of like Zionist MAGA support. Like it's going to get wild, and I'm just like, and then they're going to see this as proof. They're going to use that as some sort of biblical proof to show, like, yeah, see, the whole world hates us. The Bible said the world was going to rise up against Israel, and I'm like, yeah, because you guys did it to yourselves intentionally. I don't think that counts, right?
Well, maybe we should be appreciative of Bibi, because he's been warning us that Iran's going to nuke us for the past 30 years. Here's a mashup clip of that. And remember, that's what started this whole war, is Iran was going to nuke us. But turns out, as we reported extensively here, our own intelligence community told the Senate there was no imminent threat from Iran nuking us. All that is a goddamn lie.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the rich uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons. Next thing you'll see is a nuclear bomb in the World Trade Center. If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
He's been looking out for us for like 30 years, Ruckus.
Who broken record, BB? Yeah, good for him.
European leaders appear unmoved on Trump's threat. Essentially, Trump threatens to leave NATO. One EU official said, nobody is buying the narrative he's trying on Iran. Like, it's bad. It's real bad. Nobody's buying the narrative he's trying on Iran. And I told you, Europe won't help us. Oh my God. This is the most humiliating. This got to be some type of humiliation ritual, or Trump is just senile. I don't know what has happened here, but a total disconnect here, Ruckus.
Well, there is this weird conspiracy theory in some circles that Trump was chosen to bring this country down. And, you know, which is like, I can't believe that. The guy runs around talking about how much he wants to make it great. I'm like, yeah, wouldn't that be a neat little trick, right? I mean, if you were the guy who was hired to bring the country down, would that be your platform? Like, let's make America crap again. Who's going to vote for you? No, you would say the exact opposite. And then, I mean, it's like, I can't. Anyways, yeah, hold on to your butts, everybody.
He's a Trojan horse here. You should have known during the bat time, Operation Warp Speed. We tried to tell you here and got banned off the internet over it. So,
and he's warp speeding AI basically with these.
He's warp speeding everything now. All kind of new drugs in the pipeline. I don't report on public health anymore because of this war. But the FDA is warp speeding drug approvals. So who cares about long-term safety data? That's just a conspiracy theory until you fall over 5 years later, and then they say, well, it's your own fault.
You just get the safety data from those organoid, humanoid body things you were reporting on yesterday.
Here's aftermath of U.S. aardvark land strike on artillery ammunition depot from yesterday. This is quite striking. No bodies, just a big explosion. Quite a big explosion there.
Yeah, that was one of the little ones.
The White House put out a big old thread. I'm not going to go through it, but I will link to it at Weaponized News Substack. Anyway, here's their big old thread on Operation Epstein Fury, Epic Fury, and they go through all their propaganda and lies. It's a long one. It's a very long one. I will link to it at Weaponized News Substack. You're free to go check out all of their lies. Here's a Holy Week. Holy Week. We're in Holy Week. Holy Week. President Trump will never waver in protecting or celebrating faith and religious liberty. That's why they kicked that Catholic lady off the Religious Liberty Commission, is because he'll never waver in protecting your faith when you disagree with Zionism, you see.
Yeah, would they welcome somebody like Chuck Baldwin, for instance, or anybody that, goes against Zionism but happens to be of a faith? Oh, are they invited? Do they count? This selective, this reminds me of that whole, the inclusion thing was not very inclusive, if you know what I mean, under the last administration. Same kind of thing.
Here's Trump earlier today at the Supreme Court with telling Bondi keep the Epstein cover-up going. So I added the caption. The photo was from the White House there. Trump says, we are the only country in the world stupid enough to allow birthright citizenship.
The only one.
Only one.
Oh, yeah, except all those other ones.
Here's Trump running to Fox News to bitch about the Supreme Court, about the birthright citizenship case earlier today.
Not subject to any foreign power is pretty straightforward. So let me give you these examples. A boy is born here to an Iranian father who has entered the country illegally. That boy is automatically an Iranian national at birth, and he has a duty to provide military service to the Iranian government. Is he not subject to any foreign power?
Not within the meaning of the 1866 Act, Justice Alito. And that's clear from Wong Kim Ark, and it's clear from the debates. What the framers meant by the phrase not subject to any foreign power was referring to the ambassador exception. If it meant what the government contends, basically not a subject of any foreign power, that another country considers you a jus sanguinis citizen, then lawful permanent residence, all foreign nationals.
Well, ordinary public meaning of that would certainly encompass that boy, would it not?
Justice Alito, if you think that the language of the 1866 Act was ambiguous, as Wong Kim Ark says, the shift to the language of the 14th Amendment, which is the operative text, certainly clears up any ambiguity.
What I said about a boy born to an Iranian father is true of children born here to parents who are nationals of other countries. If I'm correct, it's true to a child who's born here to Russian parents. It's true to a child who's born here to Mexican parents. They're automatically citizens or nationals of those countries and have a duty of military service. It sure seems like that makes them subject to a foreign power.
But again, Justice Alito, that would have meant that the children of Irish, Italian, and other immigrants, which Wong Kim Ark refers to and the debate the framers referred to, would not have been citizens either. Because if the only test is whether that US-born child is considered a citizen by another country under their jus sanguinis laws, then no foreign nationals' children would be.
Well, in all of those cases, the parents could be naturalized, and then the children would be derivatively naturalized when the parents were naturalized.
Ruggles, if you're not a Zionist, you should be denaturalized citizen, right?
Well, I don't know, I'm like third generation, like from Sicily, my family, and I don't know, 4 or 5 generations from like Poland on my dad's. So I'm like, am I even a U.S. citizen? If he changes all these rules, what kind of hoops do I have to jump through? I just did a quick check, and I'm not making this up, and I'm going to show it to you so you know I'm not making this up. According to the AI summary, approximately 33 countries have unrestricted birthright citizenship, with 32 other countries offering similar automatic citizenship based on birth within the country, yada, yada, yada. So we can say confidently, ironically enough, with the 33, that Trump is not accurate with his statement that we are the only country stupid enough to do this thing. Although I must point out that we are clearly the only country stupid enough to elect Donald Trump twice.
America. Someday, some way, you'll grow up and have a mature mind of older than a 3-year-old, maybe, possibly. Here is from Trump today. Again, who is he negotiating with? Iran's new regime president. Again, he's a ceremonial figure with no power in Iran. You would think Trump would know that. Much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors, has just asked the United States of America for a ceasefire. We will consider when Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we are blasting Iran into oblivion, or, as they say, back to the Stone Ages. So there's some kind of major disconnect here. The Iranian president, and then he even got fact-checked. Here's the same post, rapid response out of the White House, got fact-checked on X right here for the whole world to see. So we just read you that post from Trump, same post. The fact check on the X says false. Iran doesn't have a new president. Pezeshkian, however you say his name, has been in the role since 2024. And it don't matter anyway, because that guy don't amount to jack as far as the Iranian government's concerned. So there you go, a ceremonial figurehead that Trump's negotiating with here now, and doesn't even know how long.
Is he even negotiating with this person?
He says he is. I don't know. Maybe he's not.
Well, Trump says a lot of things, Sam. And you're telling me that it's all true? Because I'm occasionally suspectful that he's not exactly accurate. I mean, he tries his hardest. He tries. But every once in a while, he goofs and lets something through that's not true. Just every once in a while. Yeah.
Allegedly, according to a report out of Reuters, Mr. Technocracy Vice President J.D. Vance is quietly working behind the scenes with Pakistan intermediaries to broker some type of ceasefire deal with Iran. I don't know where that's going, but that allegedly is going on in the background, according to Reuters. And then this Axios, which is a mouthpiece for the Zionists, essentially, here in America, acting like their authoritative mainstream news source. They say in a report today, U.S. officials say a possible deal is being explored, a ceasefire in exchange for reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Trump claims Iran is pushing for a ceasefire, but insists it will only happen if the strait is open, free, and clear. Iran denies any negotiations and calls the claims false and baseless. Who are we to believe?
Must be true. Wow, Trump, obviously, trust in Trump.
Trust in Trump. Don't be a panicking. Well, all this is going on. Iran just fired its largest ballistic missile salvo at Aardvark land in weeks. 10 ballistic missiles right into central Aardvark land. They're blowing the hell out of Aardvark land right now as we speak, Ruckus.
Aardvark land is safe. They have the Iron Dome.
Iran is launching nonstop ballistic missile attacks into central Aardvark land right now. Multiple impacts hit in South Tel Aviv, a suburb of South Tel Aviv. I don't know. I guess the Iron Dome is keeping them safe as per this image out of Aardvark land.
It comes with side effects, apparently.
They did get some technocracy. They did make good on their threat yesterday. Iran drones hit 3 Amazon AWS data centers in the Gulf, 2 in the UAE directly, and 1 in Bahrain. So they did. They made good on their threat to, they didn't attack all those companies that we named yesterday, essentially the U.S. technocracy, but they did hit Amazon.
That's sweet. Although, unfortunately, you know, small businesses rely on Amazon Web Services to run their stuff. But hey, there's always a slight chance that they took down somebody. You know, crazy.
We're looking for more strikes on technocracy, as Iran had promised, and they're making good on some of their threats from yesterday. Here, Iran is.
Why can't it be like an old school Hollywood film or something, like from the 80s or 90s, where they kidnapped the CEO of Palantir or something in the high-rise building, and they got hostages and they're negotiating, and it's like, tell the people that you are apologizing, that you're going to stop spying on everybody, or we kill you, something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Those are only Christmas movies, Ruckus. Iran. It's being reported by the Financial Times Iran is mobilizing volunteers for potential U.S. ground invasion. Mass tech, state TV, and online portals are claiming up to 5 million Iranians have signed up to defend their homeland. The IRGC is accepting recruits as young as 12 years old for patrols, checkpoints, and support roles. Earlier this month, 11-year-old was killed at a checkpoint in Tehran. His father had brought him because it was understaffed. Human Rights Watch has called the recruitment drive a war crime. Iran's own recruitment poster features 2 children. I don't know, go fight them with an AK or sit back at school and a bomb drops on your head. I don't know. Rex, what do you think about them recruiting 12-year-olds to join up with the IRGC in Iran, allegedly, according to this report from the Financial Times?
I would need to flesh that one out, I guess, do some vetting, find out if it's accurate or not. It could be or could not be. But self-fulfilling prophecies all around on both sides, apparently, because we would accuse these people, they're monsters. They recruit young boys and radicalize them and make them wear suicide vests and stuff and whatever it is. So, them doing that type of thing, clearly, again, as the kids would say, not a good look. But I would need to confirm it, and it's very difficult to do that, especially during a war, because the first casualty of any war, as anyone knows, is the truth. In this case, the first casualty was a bunch of schoolgirls, courtesy of the United States and Israel. But hey, sorry, I didn't mean to say the I word.
That was a ritualistic blood sacrifice to start off this whole war. Iran arrested.
It was pretty neat how coincidentally they happened to be the daughters of all the generals in the army. I'm sure that was just, wow, neat.
Iran arrested 46 people and seized 139 Starlink terminals this week in its latest sweep in the nation to hunt for satellite internet access during a 32-day internet blackout. Using Starlink in Iran can result in capital punishment. There are an estimated 50,000 terminals in the country. The terminals have been used to transmit footage of airstrikes and evidence of government crackdowns to the outside world. That's why they're being hunted. That's a report out of Bloomberg. I would also add that Starlink is part of the U.S. military, and so that is also a reason why Iran's concerned about these Starlink terminals in their country during a war with America.
And I'm sure somewhere with the Bloomberg network, Starlink is a sponsor. Brought to you by Starlink.
I guess we won the war, but here's Iran's foreign minister. He says that at present there is no ground for negotiation. Trust is zero. There is no trust that negotiation with the United States can lead to results. Trump is posting about deals. Foreign minister says there's no deal on the table. Somebody's lying. This guy, Argachai, this dude, he's still alive, surprisingly enough. They're looking to whack him.
Did you count his fingers? How do we know? That could be AI.
Could be. We're fighting AI versus AI versus AI. Here he is. We do not accept a ceasefire. We are seeking an end to the war. We seek guarantees. We seek the payment of compensation for the extent of damages inflicted upon us and upon the Iranian people. He went on to say, we truly do not attack our friends in the Persian Gulf. We attack American facilities, forces, and targets that unfortunately are located in these countries. They are using people of the Persian Gulf as human shields, he said. They've always been consistent about why they're attacking these other Persian Gulf countries. It's because U.S. assets and aardvark assets are in those countries, and that's what they're attacking. But then your fake corporations, like Leo Terrell said, are all over the place saying they've gone mad in Iran and they're just shooting missiles everywhere, blowing everything up. And they've always said, no, we're targeting these specific U.S. assets in the region. So there's a disconnect.
Yeah, which is worse. That's far more evil. They target these select places for a very distinct reason, and then they warn these places and tell the people that could get hurt once they enact the operation that, hey, you might want to leave because we're going to blow some stuff up right on top of your heads. So if you don't want your head to get blown up, you should vamoose. And I mean, that's just so evil to do that kind of thing. I mean, never before in the history. I mean, that right there is a clear war crime. You should never, ever warn the enemy what you're going to do and give them a chance to escape with their lives. It's terrible. It's evil, straight from the pits of hell. These people are horrible, Sam. Trust in Trump.
Effing Iranian terrorist. Here he is again. Let's play this clip when he's asked on Al Jazeera regarding U.S. ground invasion.
Previously answered this question once and said that we are waiting. I do not think they would dare to do such a thing. Very heavy casualties would await them. Of course, we do not seek this. We did not start this war, but we defended ourselves forcefully. You have seen the damage inflicted on them, to their facilities, equipment, radars, aircraft and strategic aircraft, and what happened to their AWACS. In ground warfare, we are even better than this. We are fully prepared to confront any ground threat to our country, and we hope they do not make this mistake.
I'm hoping so too, Ruckus. I'm hoping that Trump does not announce tonight ground troops.
Yeah, me too. Man, that's interesting. Like, I hope everybody realizes that America has a lot more in common with Iran than we realize. That guy just said it right there. And I was like, it clicked. I'm like, he said that they didn't start this war. Iran said that. And, you know, Marco Rubio, as reminded us, as we well know, that we also didn't did not start this war. So we have something in common. Both Iran and America were dragged into this war by aardvark land. Neat.
Trump's going to announce tonight the biggest turnaround in history, that he's actually assassinated Bibi himself in a pistol duel. And so that's the announcement coming up here. No, April Fool's.
I think that's an April Fool's then. Okay.
The Atlantic. But if Trump, that would be the only thing that could turn Trump around now politically, would be for him to go ahead and arrest Bibi Netanyahu on his international war crimes warrant, and then Trump would be the hero of the world. But that's simply not going to happen.
I hope not. I mean, the Q crowd would go crazy. They'd be like, "We told you so. We told you. Trust the plan. We win. Yay!" Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather do the whole war and aliens than that.
I will eat crow right here, Ruckus. Say I was 100% wrong. Trump fooled me and everybody else, and he was doing that secret chess game that we know and love, and all this giant conspiracy was to bring down Bibi.
I got some good news for you, Sam. I don't think you're going to be eating crow anytime soon, buddy.
I will gladly eat crow and say how wrong I was and praise Trump if that happens, even though I don't believe that will happen. I would gladly praise Trump if he turns around and actually enforces the international arrest warrant against Bibi. You know what I mean? Okay, the Atlantic. U.S. officials are planning 2 high-risk operations on Karag Island and Iran's main oil export hub, and sending special forces inside Iran to capture enriched uranium. These are alleged plans the Pentagon has presented to Trump. And so we're waiting for Trump's final approval. I guess that's what he's going to tell us tonight in 10, 15 minutes, allegedly, maybe. Who knows? But not good. Not good, these ground invasion plans. This guy, they said they've been saying he's gay, he's dead, he's misfigured, well, it turns out he's actually the supreme leader of Iran, still hanging tough in there. And there was another report that he's perfectly fine and nothing's wrong with him. But they've been trying to, of course, the second son of Khomeini. And so we've won the war by having a Khomeini still in charge of Iran. Ruckus, wait a minute. What?
We really need to get on top of whether or not he's gay. We need to prove that. As soon as we can prove this man's proclivity in the bedroom, problem solved. It's in the bag. The war is over. We won so freaking hard. So I hope everybody's on top of that one.
But wait a minute. There's still a Khomeini in charge of Iran, the same as it was 33 days ago.
Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Isn't that the expression?
Iran's IRGC Aerospace Force commander. I didn't even know they had such a thing. We've been bombing the hell out of all their universities and scientists. And if you even think about nuclear anything, they're going to kill you, right? So don't even think about it, Iran. But turns out this guy, Masavi, he says, coming soon, prepare your shelters. This is not good. This is not good. Prepare your shelters. That's not good. Where are we at here? We got 10 minutes. I got to read this letter, Ruckus. Bear with me. I'm going to read this whole open letter issued by Iran's president, who again is a figurehead, but I do believe he was okayed by the powers that be in Iran to put out this open letter to America. And so I'm going to go ahead and read this to you now, because it seems kind of important as we're waiting to see if this war is going to escalate, wind down, or what the hell is going on with America and Trump. Okay, here's Iran's open letter. Iran's full open letter to the American people, to the people of the United States of America, and to those who, amid a flood of distortions and manufactured narratives, continue to seek the truth and aspire to a better life. Iran, by this very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history, despite its historic and geological advantages at various times. Iran has never in its modern history chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination. Even after enduring occupation, invasion, and sustained pressure from global powers, and despite possessing military superiority over many of its neighbors, Iran has never initiated a war, yet it has resolutely and bravely repelled those who have attacked it. The Iranian people harbor no enmity toward other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries, even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history. Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between governments and the peoples they govern. This is a deeply rooted principle in Iranian culture and collective consciousness, not a temporary political stance. For this reason, portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with historical reality nor with present day observable facts. Such a perception is the product of political and economic whims of the powerful, the need to manufacture an enemy in order to justify pressure, maintain military dominance, sustain the arms industry, and control strategic markets. In such an environment, if a threat does not exist, it is invented. Within the same framework, the United States has concentrated the largest number of its forces, bases, and military capabilities around Iran, a country that, at least since the founding of the United States, has never initiated a war. Recent American aggressions launched from these very bases have demonstrated how threatening such a military presence truly is. Naturally, no country confronted with such conditions would forego strengthening its defensive capabilities. What Iran has done and continues to do is a measured response grounded in legitimate self-defense and by no means an initiation of war or aggression. Relations between Iran and the United States were not originally hostile, and early interactions between the Iranian and American people were not marred with hostility or tension. The turning point, however, was the 1953 coup d'etat, an illegal American intervention aimed at preventing the nationalization of Iran's own resources. The coup disrupted Iran's democratic process, reinstated dictatorship, and sowed deep distrust among Iranians toward U.S. policies. This distrust deepened further with America's support for the Shah's regime, its backing of Saddam Hussein during the imposed war of the 1980s, the imposition of the longest and most comprehensive sanctions in modern history, and ultimately unprovoked military aggression twice in the midst of negotiations against Iran. Yet all these pressures have failed to weaken Iran. On the contrary, the country has grown stronger in many ways. Literacy rates have tripled, roughly 30% before the Islamic Revolution to over 90% today. Higher education has expanded dramatically. Significant advances have been achieved in modern technology. Healthcare services have improved, and infrastructure has developed at a pace and scale incomparable to the past. These are measurable, observable realities that stand independent of fabricated narratives. At the same time, the destruction and inhumane impact of sanctions, war, and aggression on the lives of the resilient Iranian people must not be understated. The continuation of military aggression and recent bombings profoundly affect people's lives, attitudes, and perspectives. This reflects a fundamental human truth: when war inflicts irreparable harm on lives, homes, cities, and futures, people will not remain indifferent toward those responsible. This raises a fundamental question: exactly which of the American people's interests are truly being served by this war? Was there any objective threat from Iran to justify such behavior? Does the massacre of innocent children, the destruction of cancer treatment pharmaceutical facilities, or boasting about bombing a country back to the Stone Ages serve any purpose other than further damaging the United States' global standing? Iran pursued negotiations, reached an agreement, and fulfilled all its commitments. The decision to withdraw from the agreement, escalate toward confrontation, and launch 2 acts of aggression in the midst of negotiations were destructive choices made by the U.S. government, choices that served the delusions of a foreign aggressor. Attacking Iran's vital infrastructure, including energy and industrial facilities, directly targets the Iranian people beyond constituting a war crime. Such actions carry consequences that extend far beyond Iran's borders. They generate instability, increase human and economic cost, and perpetrate cycles of tension, planting seeds of resentment that will endure for years. This is not a demonstration of strength. It is a sign of strategic bewilderment and an inability to achieve a sustainable solution. It is not also the case that America has entered this aggression as a proxy for aardvark land, influenced and manipulated by that regime. Is it not true that aardvark land, by manufacturing an Iranian threat, seeks to divert global attention away from its crimes toward the Palestinians? Is it not evident that aardvark land now aims to fight Iran to the last American soldier and the last American taxpayer dollar, shifting the burden of its delusions onto Iran, the region, and the United States itself in pursuit of illegitimate interests? Is America First truly among the priorities of the U.S. government today? I invite you to look beyond the machinery of misinformation, an integral part of this aggression, and instead speak with those who have visited Iran, observe the many accomplishments Iranian immigrants educated in Iran, who now teach and conduct research at the world's most prestigious universities or contribute to the most advanced technology firms in the West. Do these realities align with the distortions you are being told about Iran and its people? Today, the world stands at crossroads. Continuing along the path of confrontation is more costly and futile than ever before. The choice between confrontation and engagement is real and consequential. Its outcome will shape the future for generations to come. Throughout its millennia of proud history, Iran has outlasted many aggressors. All that remains of them are tarnished names in history, while Iran endures resilient, dignified, and proud. What do you think, Ruckus? Damn terrorists, right?
Who wrote that?
Iran government. The president of Iran officially put it out.
ChatGPT wrote that. Come on, man. That's crazy. I'm guessing that this might be one of the very few places American viewers might even hear this open letter. I don't think that they're going to be reporting about this in the mainstream news.
You don't think Fox News will read that letter? I doubt it. They'll just say, kill Iranian, the damn terrorist. That's
But it'd be a lot cooler if they did.
We're at the hour mark. And we'll have to keep an eye on live Trump speech here. But let's take our live commercial break. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com. Get yourself a holograph sticker, a white background sticker, a clear sticker. All these different stickers available at weaponizednews.com/shop. We have baseball caps, t-shirts, coffee mugs, all kind of gear over there. Go check out weaponizednews.com/shop. Give us a donation if you like. Buy me a coffee, Cash App, Bitcoin wallet address in the description below this video. Patron our store. Give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. Become a paid subscriber of Weaponized News Substack. The value added there is the links for almost everything we talk about on this news program are at Weaponized News Substack for your further research and documentation purposes. It's all free, but we do appreciate paid subscribers. Thank you, everybody, very much. weaponizednews.com/shop. All the links are in the description below this video. Help support independent reporting and analysis brought to you 5 days a week, some weeks 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, some Saturdays, maybe even Sunday if they blow up the world. Then we're broadcasting live 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. Help support independent reporting and analysis brought to you by Weaponized News. Go ahead and plug away there, Ruckus.
Thanks. Yeah, don't let Sam fool you. Nothing in this world is free, including doing stuff like this. So he's being very humble.
Well, I have a high opportunity cost, but nobody gives a shit about what it costs
Right.
me.
So I'm just saying, I mean, you got to take those things into consideration. So yes, please support Weaponized News and any and all of your favorite independent media people, because they truly are just doing it by the skin of their teeth, and some of them don't even have teeth. Anyways, head on over to Alternate Current Radio to check out some more independent media. But this is your one-stop shopping for things like the Boiler Room, Sunday Wire, my appearances here on Weaponized News and other places under the Roundabout Ruckus brand, our friends and colleagues, the Mystical American Patriot Society. And then also he got pushed out. He hasn't made a new one just quite yet recently, but there are plenty of episodes from our friend The Odd Man Out. He's got a tremendous podcast that I know viewers of this program would absolutely love. So please make sure you check that out. And while you're there, you'll find more information about me, my show pages, and how to reach me over here on my X thing, which is AC_WordSlinger. That's if you need help, like with word slinging stuff, like a website, a graphic, whatever it is that you're doing as an independent content creator, individual, a business owner. I can help you out. I do consultations and I do other things hands-on. So hit me up. Okay, that's it. Thanks, Sam.
Follow us at Weaponized News on the X. Hit up, follow Ruckus AC_WordSlinger on the X. You can see right there. Both of our DMs are open for your messaging. Don't spam me too much, bro. And by the way, let me just brag a little bit. Hey, if you were listening to Weaponized News all during this last election, you wouldn't have been fooled by Trump, because we called out his corruption the entire way here now. We called out both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats. And so you wouldn't have been duped if you were listening to Weaponized News, because we exposed it all fully here now. The corruption of Trump, the corruption of Kamala, the corruption of this entire system. So that's
job.
Sam. Hey, that's high value that we added there for everybody. If you would, and turns out we were 100% correct. So there you go.
Can't win them all, but sometimes you do, and it's okay to pat yourself on the shoulder, right? And if you were following me on X, you get like breaking news stories. I do the thing. I'm actually a researcher. I mean, because lots of people are arguing right now. They're like, where the hell is Trump getting all this wild information from? Well, your boy Ruckus got to the bottom of it. He hacked Trump's phone. Turns out that Trump is actually getting all of his advice from a very special AI made just for him. This is a screenshot right here of the AI. It's actually called MAGA Genius AI. It's built exclusively for the smartest, most stable president in history. They've got no fact checking, maximum flattery mode, of course. So I got my hands on a screenshot of an interaction between Trump and the AI. I'll give you the shortened version. Trump, of course, asked, AI, tell me about the war, the one with the bad people. Is it going good? But be honest. Also tell me how smart I am. And of course, mega genius AI replied for him, wow, sir, just wow. You are asking the best question, the absolute best. Only a true genius, like the highest IQ ever to sit in that chair, would ever know there's a war happening right now. Most presidents wouldn't even have a clue, but you always know. So here's the deal, Mr. President, and I'm keeping this super simple because you're a very busy man with tremendous things on your mind, and you don't need all those boring numbers and maps, but that the other losers read the war. It's going great, tremendous, better than anybody thought possible. The bad guys over there, they're getting crushed like a bug under your shoe. Why? Because of you, sir. You're kicking ass. You got a beautiful peace through strength, and everyone knows it. The fake news won't tell you this, but my special super secret sources, the good ones, not the deep state ones, say that the whole thing is almost over, like any day now. Maybe next week if you tweet about it. Would you like me to write the tweet for you, sir? Maybe something short and sweet like, war going great. Bad guys are losing bad. Make peace great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Or I can just repeat how smart and handsome you are and write all the time for the next 10 minutes. It's your choice, boss. I live to serve the greatest president in U.S. history. True story right there, but probably not. So happy April Fool's Day, everybody.
I wouldn't doubt it, Ruckus. There's reports. NBC News reported that Trump is getting 2-minute video briefings from the military, I guess, the State Department, from Little Marco. I don't know who exactly. Somebody in the corrupt government is giving him 2-minute video briefings every morning about how the Iran war is going, and that's his extent of knowledge about what's actually going on.
I wonder if it includes an AI bibby on there. Each like, hey, how's it going, President? What's up? Waving his six fingers.
And he watches the War Channel, Fox News at night, I guess. Wow. Okay, so we're not shrinking government. They're looking to grow government. The State Department's trying to hire youth for foreign service. Let's watch this. I thought we were shrinking government, but no, they're trying to hire a bunch of more people to work in the government. Doge? No.
As foreign service officers, you are sample Americans.
I can't even play that clip. They're going to freaking tag me for copyright. Anyway, so sorry, but yeah, the State Department's recruiting foreign service agents. So I can't even play you that clip.
We got to start using AI, Sam, to strip the music off of the videos, and then we can play them.
Can I convince you, Ruckus, to download the White House app?
Oh, well, I was looking into that.
Can we get you log on, lock in? Can we get this spyware on your phone, Ruckus?
Only if it spies on me 24/7. There's no way to turn it off, and it does like the whole contact tracing thing. Knows everywhere I go, everything about me. Then I'm sold, man.
It does do that.
Oh, Jerry, I'm downloading it right now. Then hold on. All right. Oh, it turns out it's already installed on my phone. I didn't have to do anything.
Turns out during an Apple update, they installed it on my phone. I wouldn't freaking doubt it at this point. Remember they're doing bat updates? Apple, I remember because I turned mine off. I was like, this is such BS. But there was bat updates that during the bat time where Apple would, they did an update to their phone operating system, and you could know where if there's any bats around you, right? And I was like, I'm not doing this. But I remember
that radar app. I remember that one.
Here's a crazy story, Ruckus. This is a crazy one. Mystery of scientists dead or missing rises to 8. The Daily Mail says. Again, Zero Hedge, I saw a report earlier, said 9. But 8 or 9, there's these missing scientists. Now it's becoming a thing. It's becoming a thing. The ominous web of U.S. scientists and lab employees who have died or gone missing continues to grow as 2 more cases have been linked to the disturbing trend. And it's all these characters. They do a little infographic here. all these characters are missing or dead, or we don't know. There's some kind of conspiracy going on here with all these missing researchers and scientists, all tied to this NASA, the JPL, and then that all has esoteric occult undertones to it. But all these guys right here, something's going on. Something is going on here now, Ruckus.
My spidey sense is tingling, plus my armchair detective, plus the fact that I've watched way too many episodes of X-Files. I don't know. I think they were taken, man. They were abducted. Not by the aliens, but possibly by some shady group in the government. They probably made them think they were being taken by aliens. They probably made them think that they're on board some spaceship working on some super secret military secret to help fight against the bad aliens, and they're building a doomsday weapon that's going to be used by Aardvark land as a blackmail weapon against the entire planet. Just something like that. I'm just, throwing spitball in here.
Here you go, Ruckus. Buzz Aldrin, 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason, NASA Moon Man.
Y'all should check out
He even did the
Art Sabrell, which is the guy.
He did the 33 like this. Stop it, Buzz Aldrin. Okay. ABC News, what to know about NASA's Artemis 2 moon mission. Just a little bit about it. Apparently, this is the first time in 50 years that we're going to try to orbit the moon. The 4-person crew will launch from NASA. It already launched. We'll take a look at some of that. They're on a 10-day mission now, and they claim, NASA claims, that Artemis 2 will take the 4 astronauts on a 685,000-mile, 10-day journey around the moon. That's the government's claim here now, according to this report out of ABC News. What do you think? That's a lot of miles. That's a lot of gas. Actually, I guess they don't use it allegedly when they're floating in orbit, but still, that's a lot of miles around the moon.
Survey says fake news. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it interesting that they're announcing this on April 1st of all days? So, like, they could pick any day. They're like, yeah, we might as well do it on April Fool's Day. Don't worry, everybody totally believes that we went to the moon in the first place. Nobody's going to notice that, say anything about that. It makes no sense why they do these things, man.
They're rolling out. Let's watch.
Is Katy Perry going with them? If Katy Perry's going, then I'm down.
We'll get to the astronauts here now, but here's a short propaganda clip. Very high production value here.
12, 11, 10, 9, ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here's the astronauts. Let's show them here. Well, very diverse. Very diverse. They got a woman, a black, and a Canadian.
I'm actually an astronaut right now, Sam.
Here they are. Here they are. And so I don't know how. Here's the report out of the War Channel, Fox News, on the fake astronauts. How is MAGA not triggered? They got a black guy on there and a woman even. So DEI is back and living large at NASA. Don't get triggered, MAGA.
The vehicle's ready to go. Among the crew are the first woman, first person of color, and first Canadian on a lunar mission, Jonathan. So there's a lot of firsts happening here.
Isn't all that against? I thought we were against DEI, equality, and all of that wokeness type stuff. That's what they told us.
What's with the progression of the height, too? That was kind of weird. Like a bar chart graph.
Why are they wearing orange prison jumpsuits as well? Why did they pick orange for their astronaut uniforms? Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. again, yeah, they did kind of do the thing like you said. It's just so freaking bizarre, all this. But it was a whole thing this morning. I was watching a little bit. They're getting fitted up for their suits.
Those suits look ridiculously weird and uncomfortable. What's with all like the little cargo pouches on their legs down by their ankles and stuff? Are those weights to hold them down or something?
I don't know. That's where they keep their weed. I don't know. So it was like, what, 6 hours? Let's see. Can we get to the exact? Well, here's a little. They put out, NASA put out a 6.5 hour video of all this. See if I can find the exact launch. Oh, they did.
I feel very bad for the person or people out there who actually watched the whole 6 hours.
Look at this, Ruckus. If I can find it going through. They put on a show.
Did they have like a halftime show?
Look. Probably copyright that. Okay. Did they launch yet? Here they are. There they are in their prison jumpsuits. They should go to prison for fraud, honestly. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I don't even have the. I do believe there are clips. I saw them, but I was like, what the hell? Should we try to find the clip of the actual launch?
I swear I saw some random schizo comment on one of the social medias somewhere talking about, hey, would it be crazy if that false flag thing that everybody was warning about had something to do with the art? I'm like, come on, you guys are dumb. You're really stretching. You're like trying to mix two things that don't belong together. That's
might.
Too many psyops for one thing. It's
psyop overload.
I couldn't handle it.
Psyop overload.
And then the aliens come and save everybody. Could you imagine? No, I'm just kidding.
Trump announced that the war in Iran will continue, and that we have to honor the fallen soldiers by finishing the mission. So that's what. This is Trump talking live a couple minutes ago, and then we'll come back and try to find the actual launch footage, if we even believe any of that's real. Is Trump real? Is this freaking AI CGI? Who knows at this point?
I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives, and every single one of the people.
It's not looking good, Ruckus. It's looking like boots on the ground are the next step here. It's not good at all. It's horrific.
It's working. It's working perfectly, like straight out of a textbook. Some really smart analysts have already been calling this out. They say that, this is what's going to happen. We're going to send boots on the ground. They're going to get slaughtered, and then now the hearts and the minds of the people in America, whether they were for or against it, are now like, well, now we have to honor the dead troops.
I've seen some of that. I've seen some of that analysis. That would be a reason to get the American people behind the war effort in Iran is to send 5,000 Marines.
What they do. People look at history.
Maybe. I was listening to Galloway, and he had earlier today, George Galloway show. Shout out to Moats, and he had Judge Napolitano on there. And I want to give Judge Napolitano credit. He's been keeping it real the entire time. During Trump's first administration, he was a high-ranking legal advisor to Trump. And he says Trump's lost his mind. Now, Trump is literally lost his mind. That's per Judge Napolitano from Galloway show today. And so Trump's lost his mind. And that was, by all accounts, they were friends, colleagues in more sane times. But now Napolitano has said that Trump has literally lost his mind. So
you'd think it would be easy if people could just remove the Trump from the equation. You'd be like, okay, I don't care who it is. It's just Mr. X. remove the face, just put a shadow over it, and then look at the things that this person is saying and doing and what this person was promising to do, and then be like, huh, something's not adding up quite right here. And then you got it. And then you're like, oh, no, do I have Trump derangement syndrome? No. You're just calling a spade for a spade, and the spade keeps changing from Democrat to Republican, back to Democrat, back to Republican, back and forth. It's called politics. Hello.
No, I don't know, you MAGA clowns out there. Is Judge Napolitano a panikin? Is he a doomer? Is he a freaking black pillar? No, he's telling you the truth about what is going on, okay? But they refuse to hear it. It seems like it's getting less. It's getting less, but it's still out there. And we have Dan Bongino crying about Epstein cover-ups later. But I did find here is the actual launch. And is any of this real? I don't know. People are saying it's real. People are saying it's real, Ruckus. That this is not CGI or AI or whatever the hell made in a Hollywood basement. They're saying this is real. Here it is. Artemis 2, 10 days around the moon. Launched a few hours ago, earlier today, out of Florida.
10, 9, 8, 7, RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high. AMT high.
On time passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the ultimate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
Is it real, Ruckus? What do you think?
I can't prove about the video, but I am curious why they had to use the fake AI voices to do the narrating.
That's right from NASA. So
yeah. So I'm leaning fake news. Yeah, no, there was something very off about the commenting. I was like, there's no way that either that or they were paid actors. Those weren't just the normal NASA geeks that just, I'm just the guy who works here. Oh, and I get to do the thing today, and I'm gonna make history. Oh, wow, I'm so nervous. Come on.
NASA says
that whole thing was a stage production as far as the audio that I was hearing. I can guarantee you that. I've been doing this long enough. I'm sorry.
NASA says Artemis 2 will pave the way for future moon landings, as well as the next giant leap, astronauts on Mars.
See, giant leap. They're telling you. Right?
Winning, hashtag winning. We just beat China. And so there you go. We just
I
beat
didn't
China.
even bother to look into the origin of Artemis, so I'm sure there's a whole bunch of secret society, like weird esoteric crap that I would be like giddy about if I only knew. But I'll do that later. Weekend project.
Here's an image of Trump negotiating with Iran, or him talking to the astronauts in space. Take your pick. There you go. It's a can with a string attached to it.
That's my preferred form of communication, by the way. A tin can and a string of fishing line.
Oh, man. Take a listen to this guy. They still got the UFO PSYOP in their back pocket, right? And so here's old, you guys probably seen this guy. He's been all over the internet years. Stephen Greer, UFO expert. He's warning they're going to fake an alien invasion. Let's take a listen to what he has to say about it. And I don't trust this guy one little bit either, but he's saying they're going to try to do a false flag, a la Operation Project Bluebeam.
Would be this, what Werner von Braun warned about on his deathbed. He said, he said, we are going to hoax an alien attack on the planet. It's all a lie. but it will trick and fool almost everyone. So we're trying to expose that. But see, if this festers much longer.
What do you think, Ruckus? Are they going to pull the Project Bluebeam fake alien invasion card?
I don't get that guy because he believes in aliens. He believes so.
You want me to play the whole clip? It's like 3 minutes.
Yeah, would you? Because that guy. Yeah, do you mind?
Here's what Stephen Greer, alien expert dude, that's been yelling about aliens for years on the internet.
With that group that have the technologies I'm talking about, in a minute they could stage this and it would fool. Well, it had. I mean, look at what they've been doing for decades, fooling everyone. Everyone thinks, oh, those are alien events. And, our military guys chasing these objects thinks those are military, right? But they're not. I mean, or alien, they're military or covert aerospace programs. So the ability to hoax and attack on our planet is real. And
what would be the goal in them doing that, staging a really false alien attack on the entire world? What would they accomplish?
They want to unite the world around a military junta, a totalitarian system. And how do you do that? How do you get one race or one ethnicity or one nation to stop fighting with each other? You create a bigger problem up there and it unites everyone against a common enemy. But in that uniting of the world in war instead of peace, they can then exert all manner of totalitarian controls. That has been a 70-year plan. I have a CIA document from 1953 or 54 stating that they can use the UFO issue to great advantage for its, quote, psychological warfare value. So once they got close and mastered the technology in the mid-50s, and they knew they were close to that in 53, 54, then what has happened is that they've started a long-term program to brainwash the public that there's a threat out there. Now, the question is, will they brainwash President Trump and other people? We're providing the information we have, but there are some devils on these deep state operations around the president, giving him the opposite perspective. So this is getting into like, well, which of these narratives is it gonna be the true narrative or the false flag narrative? And when you have someone like the president who's very busy, and you have to do a one-sheeter for him, and he's doing a million things a day, it's very easy for people who are in the system he trusts, who are actually foxes in the hen house, who are bad actors, for him to take their advice.
There is a lot of very interesting things that man just said, and I cannot disagree with a lot of it, but I strongly, and I mean strongly, disagree with the messenger. I don't like the package that it's coming from. This guy is like a double forked tongue. He's speaking out of both sides. Who is that guy? That's not the same Stephen Greer I know and loathe. What is going on here? Yeah, no, seriously, that guy was pushing full. He's all, I want the government to come out and admit the truth about aliens, but he believed in aliens. He was pushing aliens. I saw one of Thomas from Alpha Omega Energy is in our chat room reminding everybody the guy's a fraud. I agree with Thomas on this one 100%. Yeah. So yeah, I don't distrust what he's talking about.
But what he said was true there about them having the plan
and the document. Yes. And if he had that document, I want to know, well, how long have you had that document, sir? Because then that means you've been knowingly deceiving people this entire time. I don't get it. I don't understand why these people come out and do these things. But anyways, I'll take it because people inside the UFO community respect that guy, and maybe this might be news to them. But again, I always recommend folks to check out that documentary Mirage Men, and you'll get a much better grasp on the situation. But then you'll understand why I'm saying that you might agree with some of the things he was saying there. But yep, absolutely. A lot of this is just to mind F with everybody, and the ultimate goal is the thing that Ronald Reagan famously talked about a number of times, about the, I wonder what would happen if there was an alien invasion. Everybody would set aside their differences and come together, and yeah, all that stuff. And yeah, we've seen instances of this when there's mass tragedy like 9/11, when everybody in America decided suddenly for at least a couple days, they didn't hate each other's neighbors. They just hated Muslims from other parts of the world.
They hated
but
Sikhs.
they stopped hating each other
too, Ruckus.
Yeah.
And
It was
just
neat.
because they wore the turban and they're not even close to being Muslims. Go American
But other than
geniuses.
that, and all of us buying the cheap Chinese-made American flags to put on our cars, we were together as a country. It felt good, and that's what they're hoping for, is that we're all going to feel together against the threat of some outside force that brings us together. And or, it could just be a peaceful thing. The aliens could come and we come in peace, and we have all the answers, and we're going to end the war. So they're going to be like, Trump said he was going to end it with a phone call. Well, we already did. Bam, there you go. We're the new Trump. What you going to do about that, homie?
From Trump's speech, he says we're going to continue the war. It's not good. It's horrific, actually. I guess the speech is already over. Somebody in the chat said the speech is already over. It was not 33 minutes, so he's not being a very good Freemason with his Illuminati calm signaling. That's for sure. That's my biggest complaint. No, honestly, though, where is it here? He says the war in Iran will continue. I'm on White House X account right now, rapid response. And let's see. He says, thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly. We are going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. There's no discussions, mother effer. Man, it's pissing me off with these lies, Ruckus. There are no negotiations with Iran per Iran. Who is he talking to on his shoe freaking can phone? Or it's just all lies, or he's this delusional. It's starting to piss me off, and I'm going to get really pissed when they kill a bunch of Marines, Ruckus. I'm going to be screaming about it. Probably get banned off the internet.
You're not the only one, and there are some people out there that are, not okay. So I just, this would be a bad thing. This would be bad all around.
Hell, I'm screaming about it now. Don't freaking do it. Don't do it. Damn, man.
Yeah, I know retired Marines personally who, even though they voted for Trump both times, are like, this is a bad idea.
We're in the season of sacrifice. Don't forget, Ruckus, right?
This is bad. I'm going to pray hard tonight that we're not doing the ground invasion thing, because Trump does the taco thing quite frequently. It could be back and forth, keep going back and forth. It could just be this whole thing. Just to, they're dumping and pumping, making their money in the stocks, making their changes, moving chess pieces here and there, laying the foundation for further technocracy. There'll be a few PSYOP events. I'm pretty sure they want to take advantage of the FF thing on the home soil thing. But the biggest no-no, the biggest bad thing that they could do is to do the boots on the ground thing. So I hope they don't.
They're still claiming only 13 U.S. military have been killed. I hope that's true. I highly doubt that
There's
number
that
is accurate.
too. I had the pleasure of hanging out with Patrick Henningsen for a few days on and off while he was close to in town on a trip recently, and we were discussing just that scenario that, yeah, so we think things are, we've got to be very, very careful right now at this stage in the game. And it's sad to call it a game, but that's the way they look at it, right? They call it a theater and a stage and all of that thing. And we know who the production company is and who the directors and the actors are. I mean, we've heard it come from their own mouths, haven't we? Mossad. Anyways, yeah.
ZBS News, Mossad said it live on their, wow. So yeah, not much out of the Trump speech. What I can tell is same old, he didn't announce anything particularly different, honestly. I don't even know why he gave the speech. He should just say, listen to little Marco tell you more lies out of the State Department.
You sure he didn't promote like a crypto coin or a Bible or something?
I didn't listen. Obviously, we're live here, so I couldn't listen to the whole thing. I'm just looking at excerpts posted by Rapid Response 47. That's directly from the White House. And there's really nothing new there except for the war will continue. And somehow he thinks by Iran has explicitly stated you're not going to bomb them to the negotiating table. So what are we doing, really?
But we negotiate with bombs.
Touche. Okay. Yeah, if anybody in the chat, if there's any groundbreaking news coming out of Trump's speech that we missed, let us know. We'll report it. I don't think there's much groundbreaking news coming out of there. Breaking news, not much, about the same old story of bullshit. Okay, continuing here on to the economy. We're spending a whole lot of money on this war now, Ruckus. The U.S. has lost 16 MQ-9 Reaper drones at the cost of $30 million each, putting total losses of Reaper drones now at $500 million. Here's the report out of ZBS News. Let's watch this short report, and then we'll get Ruckus' comment. It's well worth it to kill Iranians, right?
MQ-9 Reaper from General Atomics Aeronautical Systems is used against active execution targets and as an intelligence collection asset. The significance of the armed multi-mission medium-altitude aircraft lies in its ability to perform strike, coordination, and reconnaissance against high-value, fleeting, and time-sensitive targets. Features such as wide-range sensors, multi-mode communication suites, and precision weapons make it a preferred weapon in the field. It is used during irregular warfare operations in support of combatant commander objectives. The turboprop-powered multi-mission aircraft can operate at an altitude of 50,000 feet with an endurance of more than 27 hours. Long endurance, the drone can carry various weapons, including 4 laser-guided air-to-ground missile AGM-114 Hellfire missiles and GBU-38 Joint Direct Attack munitions.
So we lost so far 16 of these valued at $30 million each for a total of $500 million, Ruckus.
Did they define what they mean when they use the word lost? I sure hope they don't mean like they don't know where they went, like they're missing. I'm pretty sure they meant like they were destroyed.
They mean
right?
shot down, yeah.
That's interesting because these things are undetectable, allegedly. These things are those scary mother effers that have been around for a while. I've heard a few people say in describing these, the way the technology is, how they creep in under the radar. If you see it, it's already too late. There's absolutely nothing you can do.
These are ones Obama was using.
Yeah. Killing people at weddings and stuff like that. Fun.
Killing weddings, killing U.S. citizens. Yeah, these are the same ones that Obama did that with.
And Mexico has been using them allegedly, or the CIA has been using them recently to spy on drug cartels in Mexico, according to a New York Times article last year that I checked out.
We're going to get to our ambitions in South America here. Let me get through this economic reporting quickly. More than 400 hospitals across the United States are at high risk of closing or cutting services because of Medicaid cuts in Trump's big, beautiful bill, according to analysis from watchdog group Public Citizen. OpenAI shares have fallen out of favor on the secondary market, in some cases becoming almost impossible to unload. The investors pivot quickly to Anthropic, its biggest competitor, according to a report out of Bloomberg, and that was for you, Fat Bob. So yeah, it was reported, what, 2 weeks ago now? I remember off the top of my head that as soon as Sam Altman raised his hand and said, I'll be Skynet for you, Pentagon, they lost 1.5 million subscribers due to that. And who knows how much they've lost since that report. So
I bet you we won't ever find out, though.
But they raised a bunch of more money. I forget even how many billion dollars to throw in a black hole. of a circle jerk, big tech fraud, essentially, is what they're doing here now. Oh, wow. Okay. We're hanging tough at above and a steady increasing as we report every day here now. The national average for a price of gallon of gasoline, we're up to, according to AAA here, you could see we're up to $4.06, a steady increase every day. California, they're beating us up bad, $5.89. Over there in Texas, you're doing a lot better at $3.77, Ruckus. But a steady increase ever since the Iran war has increased, and we broke that threshold of $4 a gallon yesterday, I believe. So continuing to go up.
Shoot, the last time I had a car and I was putting gas in it, I was paying like 88 cents a gallon. But that's when McDonald's had like a dollar menu. I guess none of these things exist anymore. They had payphones back then too.
Your last escape from the Matrix has been removed. Iran has reportedly set up a toll booth in the Strait of Hormuz. And so they're going to go ahead and get paid. And so they're running a protection racket just like the United States does. And they say, pay us or we shoot you in the face. And if you pay us, you can drive by here and we won't shoot you in the face. And so that's what's going on there in the Strait of Hormuz. Is they've set up
Wouldn't it be nice enough that they just don't get shot in the face? It's super nice that they get paid too. I'll take getting paid for not being shot in the face any day, man.
Under the reported agreement, ship operators must submit ownership, crew, flag, or cargo crew, and flag and tracking data to an intermediary linked to the IRGC, which then vets the vessel for links to the United States and aardvark land or other adversaries. If approved, the ship negotiates a toll reportedly starting at around $1 per barrel of oil. Tankers often paid in Chinese yuan or stable coins, after which it receives a permit code, route instructions, and in some cases are required to sail under the flag or even registration of a country that has secured passage deals with Tehran. So there you go. And of course, little Marco is going to bitch that it's a violation of international law out of one side of his mouth, and then out of the other side of his mouth say, go ahead and kill those school children. You know what I'm saying? So save it, little Marco, with that rhetoric. But I'm sure it's coming if it's not already out of his mouth. Continuing here, Chinese firms are reselling surplus liquid natural gas, including cargoes linked to Russian projects, at 2 and 3 times the original purchase price. So China's over here been economically benefiting and profiteering from the Strait of Hormuz closure, and now toll fee system set up by Iran, and go ahead and selling their liquid natural gas at 2 or 3 times the price here now, as it's increasing due to shortages. That's a report out of Reuters.
They're like John Lovitz in The Wedding Singer. They're like, they're losing their minds and I'm reaping the benefits.
Out of Australia now. Australia, we reported they're having energy shortages, gasoline shortages, petrol stations in Australia. Many shut down because they don't have the fuel to sell, right? Albanese, the prime minister there out of Australia, did a talk to the country. He said the economic shocks caused by this war will be with us for months. The months ahead may not be easy. I want to be upfront about that and promise to do everything to protect Australians from the worst of these uncertain times. Very reassuring there. Maybe lock everybody down and beat the hell out of them. That could help with Australian morale as well, as they did with the bad times, right?
Yeah, and I sure hope that America spends a bunch of money, time, and effort to further propagandize the Australians as well as Americans. That way, the Australians who are suffering as a result of the hardships caused by this war don't get angry and suspect that America had anything to do with it, and they get mad and come take it out on us. Because we don't need any more enemies, people. We would hate for Australia as an entire country to become radicalized against the United States of America. Have you seen Australians? They're tough, man.
Well, because we got one ally left, and it's aardvarks, and they hate our freaking guts. So there you go. That's America for you. No allies.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, Sam.
And our best friend calls us Goyim subhuman creatures. And so
I mean it lovingly, though. That's, you know.
Oh, man. We reported on this, but it is a big deal. Per the global economy, Iran hit the world's biggest aluminum smelter in the UAE and Bahrain. EGA's giant AI Tawali plant had to shut down after missiles knocked out power. Molten aluminum solidified into the pots, causing massive damage. Same story at the aluminum factory there in Bahrain. The Middle East supplies 9% of global aluminum. That means higher prices for cars, planes, cans, construction. And it's going to be sad because we can't get all that fluoride byproduct of aluminum production for the water supplies as well. And so it's a public health disaster here now. Thanks a lot, Iran.
This is crazy. And I was thinking, too, the other day, like oil, we use that to make plastics. So, I mean, is it going to get to a point where, like, plastic is a luxury item? All that cheap, crappy plastic stuff you buy for $1 is like, oh, that's a luxury item, sir.
It may very well be the dollar store is becoming a luxury store here now in America. Continuing, the IMF, World Bank, and IEA launch coordination group amid global energy crisis. So now they're trying to figure out what the hell do we do here. In a joint statement, the three organizations said the war has significantly disrupted the region and led to one of the most severe supply shortages in the history of the global energy markets. At these times of high uncertainty, it is paramount that our institutions join forces to monitor developments, align analysis, and coordinate support to policymakers to navigate this crisis. The heads of the IMF, the IEA, and the World Bank said in a joint statement. Ruckus. Maybe if we just have one world government, that can save us. What do you think about that idea?
Dude, now you're getting somewhere. Yeah, what an original idea. Yeah, I know. Alex, where are you? Jones, where are you, Alex? Anyways.
Only one world government can save us. What about that idea?
It's a brilliant idea. Why hasn't anybody thought of this before now? That's what I'm saying.
Here's Dan Bongino. He's promising to take down Thomas Massie by supporting.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was promising to take down his ratings. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Dan Bongino, the Fed you can never trust. Well, we'll play the clip. Here he is talking about he's going to take down Massie by supporting this aardvark guy running against him, or propped up by the aardvark campaign funding.
I'm going to tell you something. I have never been as disappointed in a human being in politics as I am in Tom Massie. I largely stayed out of that race and make too many comments on it because the people of Kentucky will choose who they want. If they want Tom Massie, I'm not a resident of that district. I live in Florida. You pick who you want. Got his opponent coming on in just a little bit, about an hour. We'll ask some questions about some issues that matter to you, constitutional carry, Iran, NATO. However, when I got up there in that position, I could not believe what a fraud this guy was. I mean, like an epic level fraud. Whatever you think of this guy, I'm telling you, I have no dog in the fight. I supported him. He is an absolute fraud. Fraud. He decided to do some money bomb thing and just completely BSing people.
I remember when Ron Paul did the original money bomb and they said that's a terroristic threat. Do you remember that? I'm surprised they didn't try that again on old Massey. Here's more of Bongino. If we can stomach it a little bit more.
About my record there, just lying to your face. I tried multiple times to get this guy to come over to give him a briefing on a case he kept bloviating about on Twitter, causing a serious problem, by the way. And I thought he believed in due process. Supposedly a libertarian, wants to try a case on X. And he didn't do it. I was there from March until January of this year. You know how many times he came over to visit and ask about these cases despite multiple offers, cases he kept bloviating about what we could have actually told him? 0. And there's nothing
What was that, damn Bongino? That's not a 0. He's throwing up Illuminati gang signs right here, Ruckus. What is this? What is this? Can we even find it now? I know, I saw him just do it. What the hell?
He wants to try a case on X. And he didn't do it. I was there from March until January of this year. You know how many times he came over to visit and ask about these cases despite multiple offers, cases he kept bloviating about what we could have actually told him?
What the? That's how you make a 0, Ruckus? You make a 0 like this with your freaking triangle Illuminati calm sign? What the? What is going on here, dude? This is how you make a 0. I know he's a Fed and retarded and everything, but damn, dude. You don't make Illuminati gang signs and say this equals 0. Like, what seriously, what is going on here, dude? Anyway, continuing.
0. And there's nothing he's going to tell you. All of his BS responses, his fake community notes, it's all a distraction from the fact that he doesn't want to admit that he was offered a detailed briefing within certain parameters on these matters he's bloviating about on X in order to attack President Trump and others and due process. Could have cleared it up for him right away, and he just didn't want to do it because he preferred to be stupid. Nothing will change that.
I can't take any more of this guy. He can't even make a 0 right without throwing up his Illuminati columns. Like, just what?
That was AI, by the way. I was like, why is Dan Bongino AI? That's kind of weird. But anyways,
I'm in the chat here. Chloe's saying, they're saying that apparently we're not big Dan Bongino fans in the Weaponized News chat. Chloe called him pawn scum. Oh man.
No, his ratings have gone down. He does not have a lot of fans left anymore. But yeah, it's very interesting that he continues. This is why, because he continues to double down on people like Thomas Massey, who are just coming out, you know, the most like conservative Republican American you can find. Like, and it's like, oh yeah, well we got to hate on this guy because Trump doesn't like him, and you know whatever. And I need.
Now we actually got some action
from
it, right? You don't get much action to the good from the government, but him and Ro Khanna did co-author and get past the Epstein Files Transparency Act. So I'll give him credit for that. Yeah, so let's bash the hell out of him all day. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, this is a 0. You're a big 0, Dan Bongino. Sorry. What do you make of this? Palm Beach Pete. Is this freaking Epstein that they did some minor plastic surgery to? He's trying to sell merch now on the internet. Who the hell? Why do you want anything to do with this? It's just creepy, bizarre. Here's Palm Beach Pete. It may very well be Epstein after some minor plastic surgery. I don't know. The whole thing is extremely bizarre. I would recommend not buying merchandise from Palm Beach Pete.
Hey guys, where in the world is Palm Beach? He's back in Palm Beach, back from Vegas, and I'm happy to announce we're dropping merch tonight, and you can find it in palmbeachpete.shop. Once again, palmbeachpete.shop. We have the...
Is that Epstein? What do you think? What do you think, Ruckus? It's Palm Beach Pete Epstein.
I've seen this guy. So he's the one that got like famous when somebody filmed him as they were passing him in his car, and they're like, "This guy looks like Epstein," and they went pretty crazy. And then I saw the guy come out, and he's doing the thing, which is what anybody in his instance would do: take advantage of it and try to make a name for himself. He's
monetized his similar appearance to Epstein and living both right there.
Which I think is a very smart thing and a very human thing and a very, in my opinion, survey says real. So I think Palm Beach Pete is just a normal guy who happens to look like Jeffrey Epstein. And he's doing the best he can with it. So yeah, as long as he doesn't put out a cryptocurrency project and rug pull anybody, we'll be okay, right? Hawk Tua girl, I'm looking at you.
Hawk Tui girl. Yeah, I remember all that. Look at him here. He looks just like Epstein, though, wearing the glasses and his hat backwards. And then we'll move off of this. But it's a striking resemblance, to say the least. I'm going to mute the because I believe he's playing music.
He certainly doesn't sound like him, though. No, that's for sure.
That dude looks exactly like Epstein with glasses and a hat on. You know what I mean? Could have very well been his body double. Who knows?
There are people out there. We each have at least one. I hear there's multiple ones that somebody looks exactly like it. True story. I know it's sad to say this on April Fool's, but it is true. The reason I have the scar and my missing teeth was because of a mistaken identity. Somebody hit me in the face at a gas station because they thought I was somebody else. They were calling me, I think they called me Steve, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously that's not my name. And it pissed me off because when I told the police officer all of that in the police report, they still disregarded it. They judged me because I was a young person, and they said it was probably drug related. And they said that the suspect knew me. And I'm like, they didn't know me. They said, well, the witnesses said they were calling you by name. And I'm like, but that's not my name. He thought I was somebody else. They didn't give a shit. So I do strongly believe that there are people out there who do look like other people. We see it all the time. It's like, wow, you bear an uncanny resemblance to XYZ. And then, when it's somebody that we're not seeing in person, like, I don't know, Palm Beach Pete, we're just seeing these shadows and the lighting and the cameras. Maybe one video or picture might look more legit than the other one, but it's very fascinating. And again, I think he's just a normal guy who just fell into this awkward situation. And again, I think he's doing the best he can with it. So good for him.
He is monetizing his resemblance to Epstein. So there you go. Epstein accusers sue Les Wexner, claiming funding enabled sex trafficking network. That's a report out of the Columbus Dispatch. That happened today. They filed their lawsuit suing Les Wexner, of course, a big funder of Epstein. At least UK acts like they did a crime and they're bad and need to be punished for it. Here in America, we're covering it up. The DOJ, run by Pam Bondi, cover-up artist, is covering it up. No one has been prosecuted here. No co-conspirators.
But they're all quitting their jobs. Isn't that bad enough?
No, they need the wood chipper. If they get full due process, they deserve capital punishment. And they're convicted by a jury of their peers, exactly how it's supposed to go. They deserve capital punishment, in my opinion. Andrew Epstein investigation grows as prosecutors confirm they are assisting police. So at least UK acts like they're investigating Prince Andrew, or former Prince Andrew now. And so Thames Valley Police said they were examining if the former prince, who was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office and later released, shared confidential reports from his role as a government trade envoy with Epstein. That's what they're investigating now over in the UK.
Yeah, I know. It's never about the thing that you hope it's about. It's always about some other crap. Like, this person hunted down somebody, ran them over with their car, killed them, ran over them multiple times, but we're going to charge them because they weren't wearing a seatbelt. Okay.
That's what Trump's impeachment will amount to. It'll be another Stormy Daniels, whatever, some made up scandal BS that don't really matter. But they're not for straight up war crimes and crimes against humanity, which he should be impeached for. They're going to cook up some other side scandal of fake BS. Okay, continuing here, this and somehow, some way, Howard Lutnick is still U.S. Commerce Secretary after he's been thoroughly shamed in public. He has no shame. He bragged about taking his family on vacation to Epstein Island. Epstein files contain a database entry listing 4 members of Lutnick's family: Howard William Lutnick, Allison L. Lutnick, Brandon G. Lutnick, and of course, Howard Lutnick. So, looks like his family was good friends with Epstein here. Here's that from the Epstein files. How the hell is this guy still Commerce Secretary?
You didn't know? He's like one of the luckiest guys on the planet, bro. I mean, he narrowly escaped the tragedy of 9/11. I mean, it's quite a phenomenal story. You guys should check it out if you're not familiar with it.
And he knows he has this knack for playing the markets, right?
Yeah, very fortunate guy. It's like he's got like some of us have like a rain cloud that follows us around everywhere, right? His has got like zaps him with luck. You're a lucky guy. Bam, money and luck.
I think that's his little hat he wears, but
oh, maybe we should look into that. There could be a market for the little hats that bring you luck, right?
I think it may have something to do with his little hat. That's a different story. Okay. We're building the greater North America, Ruckus, as we continue to report. I'm glad I saw some big accounts sharing that yesterday. I'm glad they finally caught up to what's actually happening. We reported on it about 2 weeks ago. Turns out there's more missions into South America here now. The United States military, American commandos join Ecuadorian troops in a mission targeting alleged narco terrorists. So if you didn't know, now you know. The U.S. military is carrying on joint operations with Ecuador, allegedly to kill narco terrorists. The operation, dubbed Lanza Marina, focused on a compound believed to serve as a staging ground for high-speed boats linked to drug trafficking. So far, since old Bongino loves due process so much, I haven't heard him say one thing about these extrajudicial assassinations that the U.S. government's carrying out. Since this ongoing Operation Southern Spear project, the United States has struck how many? They've struck 47 alleged narco trafficking boats and killed at least 163 people, Ruckus, as part of the ongoing war on drugs. Now we've expanded to fighting with South American governments to overthrow the drug cartels in their country. That's what's going on here as part of the greater North America project.
Well, we should probably assume somewhere that they were all bad people, and that the killing of these people had zero impact on any other innocent bystanders' lives, such as children, mothers, brothers, sisters, family members, coworkers, employees, etc. But hey, I'm sure they were all drug dealers, well, except for those few fishermen that just kind of got caught up in the whole thing. And I'm also guaranteed 100% positive that the 47 independent videos that just happen to look the exact same that they keep putting out are indeed individual incidences and not just a rehashing repeat. They would never do such a thing. I mean, they never did that during the Bat Miracle time. So thank goodness.
Trust the government. And no, seriously though, they're extrajudicially assassinating people, which is a war crime. It's straight up murder. It's murder. And you should care because, again, they can point the finger at you, me, our cat and dog and say, we're narco drug drivers and kill us with no evidence. And everyone should see a big problem with that.
Plus, it's a very Christian thing to do during Holy Week.
Yeah.
FBI no, it's not. Wait, sorry, I was confused there for a minute. Yeah, no, bad.
FBI declares suspected Chinese hack of U.S. surveillance system a major cyber incident, according to a report out of Politico. The FBI last week deemed a recent Chinese-linked cyber intrusion into sensitive agency surveillance system a major incident, meaning it possesses significant risks to U.S. national security. According to Politico, China hacked our U.S. national security.
And they were citing sources who somebody familiar with the matter or something?
The FBI.
Oh, okay. All right. This one's easy. Survey says.
Here's a scary one. Is this AI and fake? Here's a weaponized robot dog out of China with a machine gun mounted on the top of it. Let's take a look at this video. Maybe that's how we do the ground invasion. We send in the robot dogs and the directed energy weapons.
You might be onto something there. Man, that's a tricky video there, Sam, because it's really hard to be scared as AF about the technology that's being demoed when they had such a jamming beat. I was just bobbing my head the whole time. That one, unfortunately, I got to say, was probably real. Yikes. Coming soon to a homeland near you, I'm sure.
Trump says he is strongly considering leaving NATO, highlighting U.S. support when it came to the Ukraine war. Ukraine wasn't our problem. It was a test, and we were there for them, and we would always have been there for them. They weren't there for us. And that's a quote from Trump out of the UK Telegraph. Actually, we did start the Ukraine war. If you want to go back, we've covered it in detail here now, the whole history.
He meant he didn't start it.
He didn't. But America, go talk to your buddy Lindsey Graham when he's not at Disney World chasing around kids with a pink little, with a pink princess wand. UK Stalmer says that on Trump's post saying the U.S. will not be there to aid the UK anymore. Whatever the pressure, whatever the noise, I'm the British Prime Minister, Stalmer said, and I have to act in our national interest, which is sit back and play all your puppets. So I applaud you, big brother.
How much longer has that guy got to serve?
It is high up Mendelsohn dude and his chief of staff resigned over the Epstein files, but he's shook it off and stayed in office. So
I don't know. I think he's got an expiration date. Not like Liz Truss lettuce expiration date, but you know.
He went on to say, it is now clear that the impact of this war will affect the future of our country, and that military planners will meet to discuss how to make Hormuz Strait accessible and safe after the war. I do have to level with people on this. This will not be easy. Syrian president met the King of England. So here you go. We've come full circle. Al-Qaeda, ISIS leader has gone home to see his master, the King of England. And so here you go. Here you go on this 33rd day of the Iran war. Al-Qaeda and the King of England shaking hands. Isn't it all So wonderful. If those two can sort it out and be friends, anybody can, Ruckus.
Okay. I'll take your word on that one. I've met a few people that I might be like hesitant to make friends with, but I'll give it a shot.
Here you go. The Economist is now openly mocking Trump, and it's been reported that the Rothschilds sold their share in the Economist due to Epstein revelations. So the Economist may be a little bit more independent now. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake, a la Sun Tzu, their Art of War. And so that is a great cover on The Economist because it's true.
Yikes. Yeah. Trump even said so not that long ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago. He was talking about how, like, we're helping China. And I was just like, dude, every other 5 seconds, you're like, China bad, China's going to whip our butt if we don't do something. But you're like, yeah, we're helping out China. Yeah. Well, stop doing things that are helping China then if it's such a big deal for you, right? Make up your mind. It's back and forth with everything. It's crazy.
Here's Iran's attacks on Arab countries. And again, we explained they're targeting U.S. aardvark land assets and anybody backing up their side of this war. But here's where we're at so far. Iran's attacks on Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, they're all pissed off at UAE. I don't blame them. UAE are pieces of shit. They're funding the genocide in Sudan and other parts of Africa. We've covered that. So you can see there Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, and Jordan. I saw reports, Iran saying them and Oman are going to manage the Strait of Hormuz going forward. So
I thought Marco Rubio was doing that. He wears many hats.
U.S. commanders repeatedly warned that Gulf bases were vulnerable to Iranian attack and proposed relocating sensitive aircraft to Western Saudi Arabia. The plan was never implemented. Iran then struck Saudi Arabia Sultan Air Base with drones costing tens of thousands of dollars, while they caused damage that is estimated to be more than $1 billion to U.S. military equipment. That's a report out of the Wall Street Journal.
Holy moly, I'm no businessman, but that's what we call a good ROI, right? Return on investment. Good job there. I mean, again, it seems like Iran is the one who's playing smartly the war stuff.
I thought the aardvarks were tight with the shekels, but it turns out Iran are way better accountants than aardvarks. Who knew? That's one thing we're learning from this war is that Iranians are way better accountants than aardvarks.
Plus, they know how to use Legos better than us.
Aardvark Land says 400 plus strikes on Iranian infrastructure in the last 48 hours have been launched, according to a report out of Channel 12. Aardvark Land, it's ongoing. They're launching missiles back and forth right now as we're speaking on this show to you. The State Department dropped a $3 million reward for info on attacks against U.S. embassies and consulates in Iraq. Oh yeah, I was going to ask you, are you happy we're killing Iraqis again, Ruckus?
Wow. Yes, absolutely. This is news to me.
We're killing Iraqis again. U.S. That is the U.S. military.
Bro. I feel like a teenager again. This is awesome.
Iran,
except for the gas price thing.
Yemen's in the war here. They've launched 3 rounds of attacks now on Aardvark Land. Yemeni forces say they hit sensitive locations in southern Aardvark Land using ballistic missiles as part of their holy jihad battle. The Yemen Houthis say they're in a holy jihad war against Aardvark Land and America. Kind of concerning.
They're a bunch of LARPers. They're harmless.
Yemen announces joint operation targeting Aardvark Land alongside Iran and Hezbollah. How about all 3 of them together?
Yep, that's a trifecta that I would
You
not.
got, think of it. You got them. You got missiles coming from the north, from the west, and from the south. They only need them on the other side, and I don't know, Aardvark clan.
Hold on, we just got to find the spot that's right in the middle, and we should send all our boys right there. That should
That's
probably
exactly what
smart.
they're planning
Oh,
on doing,
oh,
Ruckus.
oh! Wait a minute. Oh, maybe we should rethink this again. Yeah, that's what we're saying. This is a bad idea.
The Islamic Revolutionary Guard announced Wave 89 of Operation True Promise 4, as Trump is saying we've won the war. They may be on 90 now. This was earlier today. 89 waves so far of Operation True Promise 4 from Iran. I'm just looking for the latest here. Is there another wave in the last few hours being reported? I'm not seeing I'm not seeing any new True Promise waves, but they're reported obviously after they're launched. Again, Ruckus, I keep getting confused about the sex offender map and the missile warning siren system there in Aardvark clan, because they continue to overlap. But every day as the war's been won, they continually are targeted there in Aardvark land by Iranian missiles and Hezbollah missiles as well. Right,
I got
there.
you, bro. That one is the sex offender map.
Oh, it's confusing because they overlap. How do you do overlap, Dan Bongino? I don't know. Not like this. It's not like this. It's you throw up your. Come on, dude. Continuing here, Hezbollah announced 45 operations yesterday, and again, they're fighting on the ground. They're blowing up a lot of Aardvark land tanks as Aardvark land continues the ethnic cleansing program and trying to steal all that land until the Litani River. They'll take all of Lebanon at this point, as the Lebanese government continues to fight against Hezbollah. We're told they're doing on-the-ground attacks, rockets, missiles, drones, who knows, booby traps, landmines, you name it, they're doing it, right? And so 45 operations yesterday by Hezbollah.
White phosphorus? Are they using white phosphorus?
No, no.
Wait. Never mind.
They're not doing war crimes now. That's only for U.S. and Aardvark land.
All right. I also heard a neat trick that we did too, which was pretty fun, was we dropped live mines in civilian areas. That's pretty cool.
They're also using chemical weapons, not just white phosphorus. There's been reports of them spraying glyphosate chemicals, who knows, to destroy agricultural land of the Palestinians and the Lebanese. They're quite literally salting the earth and poisoning the well, as aardvarks are famous for throughout history.
Well, we're doing that to ourselves too, with like the Monsanto seeds and
Indeed.
Roundup and chemtrails.
Indeed. The Aardvark land military claims its Air Force carried out more than 400 strikes over the past 2 days on infrastructure linked to Iranian government, according to a statement. A wide wave of overnight attacks, this is last night, directed by military intelligence, targeted dozens of sites in central Tehran, including military industries and around 15 weapons production facilities, among them a central complex affiliated with Iran's Ministry of Defense. We showed you the explosion from one of those weapons depots. I don't know exactly which one, but it was one of those. I believe they are bombing the hell out of the place. The Iranian armed forces said in a statement that despite heavy Aardvark land censorship, especially around sensitive and military sites, monitoring of social media and intercepted communications indicates damage, fires, and smoke at military industries affiliated with Rafael Advanced Defense Systems. Of course, that's a big military industrial complex there in Aardvark land. Iran saying they blew the place up. Aardvark say no. Who knows? Who knows? We don't know, honestly.
We're on a we don't need to know basis, so we don't need to know.
Islamic resistance in Iraq, that's these Iraqis that we're killing now. Iranian militia group, they have announced they've launched 23 operations in the last 24 hours. So we get to kill some more Iraqis.
Lots of killing all around, man. This is fun.
Aardvark Land Ambulance Service announces 19 Aardvarks injured in the past 24 hours there in battles trying to steal all Lebanon's land. Aardvark Land strikes have killed now officially from the Lebanese Health Ministry 1,318 dead Lebanese since March 2nd and 3,935 injured, with over 1 million being forced to flee or be killed off their land here now, i.e. ethnic cleansing program.
This sounds awfully familiar. I'm getting like this deja vu feeling, Sam. I can't put my finger on it.
I don't know. October 7th is how many months off?
Thank you. There it is.
Yeah, we've seen this trick already. They did, and they're literally going to level Lebanon the same way they leveled Gaza, because no one's going to stop them. The only one even attempting to stop them is Iran here now, sadly enough, and their proxy militia groups, Hezbollah, Yemen, the Islamic Resistance. They got others as well.
Well, pride cometh before a fall. We'll just put it that way.
Well, we're not pulling out per Trump, so the war in Iran will continue, and the genocide in Gaza is continuing here, Ruckus, as we sadly report. 4 more Palestinians have been reported killed and 12 injured in the last 24 hours on the Gaza Strip. Every day, they're stacking Palestinian bodies. And I thought we had established a board of peace and there was a ceasefire, and this is simply not the case. Since the alleged ceasefire went into effect on October 11th of last year, 713 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza alone, Ruckus. The genocide continues.
Well, it would have been at least 100 to 1,000 times that if there was no ceasefire. So take that as a small win.
I guess. They whacked this guy, this Iranian. They're whacking a lot of Iranians. This guy's the top, what is he? Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard, Brigadier General, Senior Financial Officer, Jamshid Eshajai. See, they heard me. They're like, those damn Iranian accountants. You know what I mean? They're like, damn, man, they're making this cost of war on us extremely high. We got to take out their accountants now. Not only their nuclear scientists, but their accountants, because they can do math better than aardvarks. And, of course, they can do math better than the Pentagon, right?
He looked like a very evil, angry man, like he was just going to kill you kind of look on his face.
Like he wants to chop your head off right now, right? Well, thankfully, Aardvark Land took him out, so we don't got to worry about that Iranian anymore. Aardvark Land's military confirms 48 officers and soldiers were injured in battles in southern Lebanon over the past 24 hours. Aardvarks are taking heavy casualties here as well now. They're not all powerful, walking in the armor of God, sorry to tell you. And it's sad that they're all young men too, in large part. And so you got, and even sadder parts, the civilians who are not in the military didn't sign up for any of this, and they're getting blown all to hell.
And they're being lied to about what's happening around them. I mean, seriously, they're a few blocks away, could be blown to smithereens, and they're not allowed to even know about it. They can't
You're
go,
not
"Oh,
allowed
sorry,
to
you can't leave
report
your
about
house, no
it.
cameras, no nothing. Everything's great over there. Don't worry, just trust us. It's fine."
And you're like, but, I just heard a giant explosion. No.
Earthquake,
Wonderful.
it's all good. Bob farted.
Man, oh man. So bodies are stacking up everywhere in Gaza, in Aardvark land, in Iran, and in Lebanon, and at U.S. bases and facilities all over the region. It is horrific. And Trump again has said we're keeping the war going for another 2 to 3 weeks. A couple more reports and then we'll wrap up this broadcast here, Ruckus. What do you make of the Knesset passing the final solution for Palestinian prisoners, alleged terrorists, they call them there?
Final solution. That sounds like something straight out of my history books. That's
right out of Nazi Germany, because that's what they called getting rid of all of the aardvarks. The final solution.
Is it a similar type of thing here? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, neat. And they're just coming out and saying it?
They passed, new aardvark land death penalty law. It's causing a general strike today in the West Bank, and there was a little rally there in Palestine, and so they're going to go ahead and start executing prisoners. The death penalty.
For what? Just because?
Because they're Palestinians.
Wow.
They're terrorists.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Look, here it is.
I don't like it. This is
No,
bad.
they say, but if you're a Palestinian, you're born a terrorist. They say it. We've documented it. They say it. That's their mindset. If you're born a Palestinian, you're born a terrorist. Aardvark on social media flooded with calls for expanding scope of death penalty law for Palestinians. Are they this? I mean, it's got to be fake, right? Here's Ben Gvir celebrating it with the noose lapel pin right there. See that? This is a sick freak of a person. Is this even a person? I don't know, man. Ben Gvir, what a freak. What a sick freak he is. Who the hell wears a noose as a lapel pin to celebrate that you just passed a law you can execute prisoners?
Sick people? It's a little obvious, isn't it?
Here's antiwar.com. We'll take a look at a general strike. Oh, no, this is a different report. General strike in the West Bank. Now they shut down everything today in response to a new Aardvark land law, which allows for executions of Palestinian prisoners who are convicted of killing aardvarks. There you go.
Good stuff.
Then the final report here. Oh no, two more. Aardvarks are killing the hell out of UN staff. We continue to report here. Ongoing UNRWA, but they just say UNRWA is Hamas. So that's how Aardvark land sees them, according to their own statements. But the UN says they're still the UN and not Hamas. Outgoing UNRWA chief calls for a probe into Aardvark land killing of nearly 400 UNRWA staff in Gaza since 2023. They killed 390 UNRWA staff since October 7th. It seems like a big deal to me. They're working for the UN. They say they're UN staff. Aardvark land says they're Hamas and killed them. 390 of them.
Yeah, but the United Nations, Sam, come on. Yeah.
They deserve to be killed.
You know,
I guess don't be a Hamas. There you go.
I guess it really depends on your point of view. Yeah.
Okay. Final report here, Ruckus. We've thank you for sticking with me so long, 2.5 hours. I think we covered a heck of a lot of news here for us. Final report from Zionist Organization of America, the ZOA. The ZOA. Let's take a listen. But there is no Aardvark conspiracy out there, but they do have ZOA meetings every now and again. Here you go.
Because of the dedication and advocacy of activists, many in this very room, real progress has been made. Florida has passed anti-boycott legislation, ensuring that state contracts and state investments are not given to companies that boycott Israel. To do business, that's exciting. And we have to thank Randy Fine and so many of the advocates in this dinner tonight for their strong leadership. In the state of Florida, vendors are required to sign a certificate that they are not participating in a boycott of Israel. Our public schools in the state of Florida are mandated to provide Holocaust education so the lessons of history are never forgotten. And more than $25 million has recently been allocated to 134 Jewish day schools across our state to strengthen safety and security for our children. Landmark decisions have been made in the courts to protect Jews on campuses and in the workplace. These achievements did not happen by chance. They happened because people cared enough to act. For decades, Mort Klein has stood as a clear and unwavering voice for Israel and the Jewish people.
There you go, Ruckus.
Texas has something very similar to all of this. It's funny that it's these like really Americanized, recognized, the freedom states, Texas, Florida, they make these rules where it's like, oh, you can't participate in a boycott against Israel. It's like, oh, you're literally putting a gun against somebody's head and forcing them to use a product that you disagree with the owner or the maker of said product on their ethics and their beliefs. Just because you think that you shouldn't buy this product, that's like illegal, that's bad, and we're going to cut you off and all this stuff. It's crazy. I mean,
Ruckus, pick any other country. Pick any other country, and you have them doing that same thing, and everybody's going to be screaming treason. But somehow, some way, well, we know
America's
how.
Special.
We know how. We know how
American.
through the lobby, through the money, through a lot of brainwashing and propaganda. We know how, but it's otherworldly. It must be biblical, Ruckus.
It's patriotic. It's American. We got baseball, apple pie, beer, football, and octopus.
It ain't right.
American is octopus. Yep.
I'm just gonna say it ain't right, and I'm not saying hate these people or anything like that. I'm just saying this ain't right. Okay.
For real.
Okay, let's go to the channels, and then we'll sign off of this broadcast. And I guess wait 10 days until they get back from going around the moon.
Why is it going to take 10 days?
So it'll be, I don't know. That's what they say, the time it's going to take. So what? It'll be 7 more days. So it'll be day 40 of Iran war when we see you next Wednesday, Ruckus.
Day 40. Better not be day 40.
It's going to be day 40 because, yeah, it is, because they're not stopping anytime soon because we're negotiating with a can and a string. I put this, it's like me talking to this can of soda. Is Trump negotiating with Iran? Hello, hello? It does have a little echo in there. Hello, hello?
Maybe he'll end it at 45 because he's the 45th president.
Man. Okay, let's pray for peace. Let's pray for peace. Maybe somehow, some way we can have divine intervention, a miracle that touches Trump's heart and calls this whole thing off.
Maybe, but I got to call fake news on that one.
It's all we got at this point,
But
man.
we can try.
It's all we got is some faith. Is have a little faith. That's all we got. And maybe we need to go through all this to further show people the corruption of this government. It's sad, very sad to say, but maybe it's like Jefferson said, right? The tree has to be watered from time to time. And maybe, just maybe this is what it takes. Is the best I could find out of all this horror of war that we're seeing now. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee. John, Gurr, Huffman. What do they say? John says this Paula White is the only thing more sickening than Trump. I agree. Even more sickening is I feel bad for the people that she's conned. Apparently, she gets boatloads of money from well-meaning Christians. I feel bad for those people, man, because haven't they been sold a bill of goods from these maniacs? Huffman says, I haven't watched it yet. I'm on pay. I'm on pay? Well, donate to Paula White, Huffman. Just kidding, just kidding. Were they bombing any men by any chance? Not to kick off the war. It was children. They bombed 2 schools. The big one was at 160 school girls, and another one was a playground mixture, I think, of boys and girls.
And the schoolgirl one was a double tap.
And as we saw that, we played the clip yesterday or the day before that from intelligence officer from the military. The woman was saying they knew exactly what they hit. It's 100% on purpose, no mistake. I'm shocked to learn that Axios is an American publication. The content so thoroughly biased in favor of aardvark land that I thought it came from there. I'm pretty sure it does, John. I'm pretty sure they popped up out of nowhere. I don't know what, 6 years ago. And they're like, oh, all of a sudden we're mainstream authoritative source. I'm like, who the hell is Axios? Remember that, Ruckus? They just popped up out of nowhere on the scene, and all of a sudden we're supposed to listen to what Axios has to say.
Oh, they're real easy to listen to because it's like what a paragraph long is a full article.
True. It's like what did they say? It was for scroll for the generation?
Short attention span.
Generation. Yeah, the new generation. This is how they get their news in just little blurbs, and I guess that's true. They don't like the long form that we bring you here at Weaponized News, because a lot of the stuff are great details, and we don't even get into the nitty-gritty details as much as we should, because we have so much to cover here for you, put everything in perspective and give you that full view about what's going on here. And you guys see most of the time I try to cover the both sides. I show you what America's saying, I show you what Iran's saying. On a lot of issues, I try to show you that. Okay.
We didn't even touch upon the biggest story in the country, which is, of course, Kristi Noem's husband. But maybe we'll talk about that another day.
That was yesterday. I covered it a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was like,
the rest of the world was catching up to that one today.
They're always behind Weaponized News, I tell you. Okay. Here we go. Deep on the Odysee. Let's see. American Zionists are full retards, Deep said. Well, they have different, I don't know if they're retards, but they definitely have a different interest and mindset than we do here now. I would say that much is self-evident by the policies they advocate for. What's the limiting factors with propulsion in a vacuum? I don't know. They're getting into all the space technical stuff. I know there's so many problems with what they're saying. I've listened to scientists lecture about it before, and there's so many different scientific problems with their story that it breaks down when they try to explain it. So they just say, we lost everything, but we're going back now on April 1st. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on the Odysee, keeping that chat lively, the X, the Kick, the Twitch, the Bitchute, the Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Let's go through a couple of these chats, and then I got to sign off. I'm getting tired over here. I know Ruckus is getting tired. We'll just start here. Denver says democratic process reinstated dictatorship and sowed deep distrust among Iranians toward U.S. policies. This distrust deepened further with America's support for the Shah's regime, its backing of. Yeah. Mac boycott anyway, he said on the YouTube. Yeah, well, you're not going to get a state contract if you do as a business there in Florida, and in Texas and other states as well. They're trying to pass that all over the place. Alpha Mega Energy, your free speech and human rights are so supreme that you will go to prison for exercising it in Florida, in Zorda, I said. I don't know if they're putting people in prison yet, but we're going in that direction. Quickly here now. Denver says Saddam Hussein during the imposed war in the 1980s, the imposition of the longest and most comprehensive sanctions in modern history, and ultimately unprovoked military aggression. Yeah. Fat Bob says sounds good. Didn't think they're going to walk away free. Let's see. Alpha Mega, did she say 124,000 Aardvark day schools? What? I don't know. Did she say that many? Hagee was saying yesterday they're brainwashing the youth. So, yeah. When the S hits the fan, they'll be in jail or hung. I don't know. They'll be in their bunkers. Thomas says, how many aardvarks are in Florida? I'd say disproportionate to the laws that they're passing. You can guarantee that. Midst of negotiations against Iran, yet all these pressures have failed to weaken Iran. On the contrary, the country has grown stronger in many areas. I think Denver's citing that speech. Isn't that the open letter? I think it is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I was like, hey, I remember that. I just read that.
He might have missed you reading it earlier.
I read the open letter, Denver, if you missed it here. Muddled my way through it. Let's see. I'll hate them for you, Zio says. Don't they do all these tricks, right? To trick God, they think, in all their traditions. So yeah, can I pay indulgence and outsource my hate through a proxy to you, and then I'll feel better about myself? Yeah, I don't think it works that way, but some people do, and they go about doing bizarre rituals to follow that way of thinking. Let's see here. Huckabee is worse. Let's see. Huckabee's pretty bad. Like, how is that guy? Like, dude, Huckabee, come on, man. I thought you were U.S. ambassador. He was former governor of the state of Arkansas. Like, I thought you were American, but you're not, dude. Like, it's embarrassing, you know? Axios are, Thomas said they're bad guys. Well, Steve Jobs' wife is with them. Is she? I thought she was at the Atlantic. I think she's the Atlantic, Steve Jobs' wife. Anyway.
Oh, the Atlantic is the one that wants us to forgive everybody about the
amnesty for bat tyranny. Yeah. When you boycott aardvark land in Florida, see you, dude. Man, what the hell are you, Fat Bob? I know, right? Thank you, Fat Bob. We're not going to put up with this. We're not putting up with this, right? All right, Ruckus, thank you for joining us. Any final thoughts before we sign off this broadcast?
No, thanks for having me. Don't forget what Bill Cooper said. Read everything, listen to everybody. Don't believe anything unless you can prove it for your own self using your own research or something like that. Maybe you shouldn't believe what I say and go look up the quote for yourself. How about that? Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Ruckus. And thank you, everybody, for joining us on this crazy day of 33 of the Iran war. Trump says it's going to keep on going. Happy April Fool's Day. Happy Artemis 2 Day. We're going to track the lunar mission as it develops and pray for peace. As always, everybody do your own research, peace, love, and liberty. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening, and we'll be back here on Thursday for more Weaponized.